Ho 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 and merry video game news. What up, viewers? What up? What up? Today is Friday, December 20th, and that means it's time for a quick recap of the week in video game news. This week had a lot of fun things, but most of it was kind of small. Everything's kind of winding down for the end of the year. Speaking of, this will be my last news report for the end of the year, or for this year, for this decade even. So there won't be one next week, but there should be one the week following, one for the new year. So looking forward to putting these out. I hope you've enjoyed these throughout the year. If you have, feel free to comment below and tell me what you did like and what you didn't. And yeah, moving on, the actual news this week. One of the big things that I'm excited for is Warcraft 3 Reforged has finally got a release date. People have been kind of speculating. We didn't get a date at BlizzCon this year, so we've been kind of waiting around wondering when the game is going to come out. I think when it was first announced, it was said that it was going to come out in 2019, so people thought it might be a dead drop at the end of the year. And now that it is the end of the year, Blizzard has pushed it out into next year, but not very much. The release date is January 28th, so just 4 or 5 more weeks until we can get our hands on Warcraft 3 Reforged. I usually think there's like one really big game in January, and that's kind of been the trend for the last couple of years, or at least the years I've been tracking it. So this could be the one. But PC only might not make it the biggest game in the world, but it is a game that I'm excited for. I'm glad to see that I don't have to wait much longer to play it. So looking forward to playing that on my PC. Star Wars is coming out. For those who live under a rock and have never heard of it, Star Wars The Rise of the Skywalker Episode 9 is coming out, and everyone's cashing in on it, from Fortnite to Battlefront 2. What I want to talk about is Battlefront 2 has the Rise of Skywalker DLC. There was a pretty cool trailer that I'll have in a link down below that I thought it did a really good job of. It had Rey and Kylo, and I think it had Finn as well, but it did a really good job of like going throughout the ages. I think there was an Anakin shown for like a brief glimpse, and I think that was always the intention of like Battlefront 2, to have this like platform for them to keep shelling out Star Wars content for. So they're continuing to do that. I don't know what the price is on this, and I've heard some kind of like wait to buy, kind of wary, buyer beware kind of things. So I don't know what those are exactly about, but if you want to be playing Rey or Kylo in Star Wars, then Battlefront 2 is where you can do it. I never played the story. That's one of the things that I regret. Maybe I'll play that over the course of the next week. But there's your Star Wars news for the week. The Player Unknown, I forget what the guy's actual name is, but the mind behind PUBG, Player Unknown Battleground, has started to tease a little bit of his next game. And it is called Prologue, and all we know about it so far is, besides like a 30-second trailer that just kind of shows like a rainforest and getting rained on, all we know about it is it's not going to be a shooter, and it's not a sequel. So there's a lot of places it can go from there. It could still be a survival game. It can still be a battle royale, but it won't be a shooter and it won't be a sequel. That's all we know about it. I wasn't a really big PUBG fan, but I'm excited to see. I'm always interested when someone takes an idea or makes one really big game and then goes in a completely separate direction with it. So I'm excited to see what comes out next for that. One of the coolest holiday gifts that I saw this week was it's not a holiday gift because it doesn't actually release this holiday, but PS4, the PlayStation 4 has now added a peripheral to their controller. I think this is to make it more competitive with like SCUF controllers and the Microsoft Elite controller. So they added a peripheral where you can just plug it into the bottom of your PlayStation controller, and it adds 2 programmable back buttons. And it's got like a little OLED screen on the back that you can kind of like cycle through and make sure that you've got them bound to whatever key you want them for. I'm not quite the crazy gamer yet that needs that, but I always do want a pro controller or something like that. Some people have started to speculate maybe the PlayStation 5 controllers will come with those base, now that they can just kind of add the peripheral on. I think this is way smarter than just making a whole controller that has these back paddles. Now it's cheaper, and or at least it's less expensive, and you can just attach it to the controller and you can play with these back buttons that you want. So like I said, it's not coming out before Christmas, but I think you can pre-order it now. It comes out January 23rd next year, and it's only $30. So could be a good investment if you are really invested in, if you don't already have something with back buttons and you're looking for something so that you can be a little bit more competitive with your PlayStation gaming. Moving right along, Facebook is investing in cloud gaming. They have bought PlayGiga, which is a cloud streaming service, presumably so that they can. I believe it's gaming related. I don't misquote me on this, but they definitely. I can see Facebook wanting to get into this, getting into the field. We've already seen Google. We know Microsoft's working on something, so Facebook could be the next entrant. We know Amazon's working on something that's going to be revealed, I think, next year. So Facebook is definitely one of those companies probably wants to get their hands on, get themselves into the field of cloud gaming streaming. So hopefully, or this is probably the investment that they're looking to use to make that happen. Speaking of Stadia, Google has bought Typhoon Studios, which was founded in 2017 by Alex Hutchinson, the director of Assassin's Creed 3 and Far Cry 4. So not founded for very long. I don't remember what the studio has put out so far, but Google is investing in Stadia exclusive content, and this seems like their first step towards that. So hopefully we'll start seeing more Stadia exclusives in the future, because I think that's typically what brings a consumer to your platform, is the exclusives. Google, I also think, should, they're probably investing in a lot of areas, but I feel like the server connections and the slight latency issues that I've experienced, I think that they might need to focus on those before they start worrying about content. But Borderlands 3 is now on the platform as well. That news was dropped this week. So yeah, Google is continuing to invest in Stadia, so it's nice to see that they are supporting this platform and continuing to grow it. Apple Arcade is now sold, rather than being $5 a month, is now a $50 per year annual subscription, if you so choose. So if you want to invest in Apple Arcade, you can see yourself playing the mobile games on their platform for a year. $50 saves you, that $10 extra for buy 10 months, get 2 free kind of deal. So that was a cool announcement this week. Apple Arcade will be $50 a year if you so decide. Rather than going through each gaming sale individually, I'm just going to say that the PlayStation winner, or the Steam winter sale is up. The PlayStation 4 has a digital sale going on right now. Even Nintendo and the Switch has got digital sales on their eShop. I assume that Xbox is also in on this, but I couldn't find an article talking about those this week. So go out and buy some digital games for those you know and love, or stock up before your big break, and before you take some time off for the holidays, grab some games so that you can have stuff to play. One of the funnier articles that was released this week is that Puma, the shoe company, is entering into the gaming space with gaming active socks. They're shoes, basically. They look like active flats. The shoe would look really cool to me, actually. It's like a nylon all the way around, except for like a small, just kind of like foot base, kind of like a slipper. So these gaming active socks are $100. a lot of people on Twitter were kind of giving them a hard time about the $100 price point and, you know, gamers needing these like active footwear. But I thought they looked cool. I actually have been wondering, like, I just walk around in socks when I'm playing games, and I'd rather have something, you know, like an actual shoe or slipper where I can like walk out and walk back in, like go outside, because I don't want to walk outside with my socks on because I get yelled at. But I think these actually look pretty cool. They look comfortable as heck. They look breathable, and they could maybe double as like an actual like active shoe if you wanted to like go running in them, I guess. So I thought they looked cool. I actually like Puma shoes a lot. They're one of my favorite shoe brands, or at least one of my favorite pairs of shoes were Pumas back in the day. So I think they look cool. But the $100 price point might turn some people off, but I feel like that's just what shoes cost nowadays. So yeah, let me know what you think of the Puma active gaming shoes, or some combination of those words. Let me know what you think. And last but certainly not least, a subject near and dear to my heart, Dungeons and Dragons. There was an article / interview this week talking about how there could be 7 or 8 possible Dungeons and Dragons games coming out in the near future. We already know of a couple of these. We've got Baldur's Gate 3, which is being developed by Larian Studios, the minds behind Divinity Original Sin 1 and 2. And then we have Dark Alliance, which I don't remember where I saw that, but I think, is that a remaster? I'm not quite sure. So, but we know about those two. We know there's a movie coming down the pipe somewhere, and I don't know if there's going to be I would assume there might not be a game-related movie, or a movie-related game, but if there's possibly another half dozen games or so, I'm really curious to see where those might be coming from. So, Dungeons and Dragons doesn't always, you know, taking a board game or tabletop game and converting it to a video game doesn't always quite work. I also don't know how 5th edition is going to play into this, because I don't know. 5th edition is a little bit different than what you would want, something a little bit crunchier for a video game. But yeah, there could be 6 unheard of Dungeons and Dragons games coming down the pipe for us. So I'm excited to see what those could possibly be. Thanks for watching this whole year. I really appreciate everybody who has commented, liked, and subscribed to my channels. It goes a very long way in supporting me and making sure that these things can continue to come out. If you like my content, please like, follow, and subscribe to me on YouTube and Twitch. Links down below in the description so you can see more great content like this. I like putting these on. This is, like I said, this is the last one of the year. So let me know any thoughts you've had over the course of this year. I appreciate everyone who has, like I said, commented or talked to me or engaged with me in any way. I like putting these on, and I'm thankful for all the support that I've gotten on these. Thanks again. Hope you have a super day. Hope you have a super weekend. And I hope you have a super holiday. Happy holidays. Bye.